Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kira Madeir, and I will be your MC for today. I am currently a senior at Tippie Career High School, and for the last 2 years, I have had the privilege to participate in Project Cub, which is a restoration effort of a 1946 J3 Cub here at the CAF. And on behalf of myself and the other students that you see here today, we want to say thank you to all who have been involved in supporting the educational program, and especially those who are making this new facility happen. This opportunity has deepened my own creativity and excitement about the aviation industry, and I know that I will be more successful in my career because of the exposure the organization has granted us. Now, we have a short program today, so let's go ahead and get started. Will everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated. Mr. Anderson, will you please give our invocation?
Thank you. Let us bow for our invocation. God, we thank you for the opportunity to dedicate this facility. We thank you for celebrating its completion. We thank you for all who funded its completion and all who constructed it. And we ask that all who enter its doors would be inspired for the better. In your name we pray. Amen.
I'd like to first introduce Mr. Hank Coates, President and CEO of the Commemorative Air Force. Mr. Coates.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you very much. So on behalf of the Commemorative Air Force, thank you for joining us today. To those that are here in person, thank you for joining us on this beautiful spring day. I ordered this weather, by the way. I didn't order the wind, but I did order the weather. To those of you who are joining us virtually, thank you as well. In an ideal world, we certainly would have loved to have had more folks here today, but in the COVID world, we're dealing with what we have to deal with. We appreciate everyone understanding, and we hope to see you out and about this summer. And we hope to see you at the grand opening this fall. The intersection between two missions, the CAF, focusing to educate, inspire, and honor, and the Henry B. Tippy National Aviation Education Center, to honor the past and empower the future. Both of these use the past as a bridge to educate, to inspire, to honor, and empower young and old towards a brighter future. The Commemorative Air Force and our newest endeavor, the Henry B. Tippy National Aviation Education Center, are focused on being good community partners in southern Dallas, on being an aviation leader in North Texas, a source for education and history in the United States, and best in class in the warbird industry around the world. I would quickly like to recognize our leadership. Would the General Staff please stand up? The General Staff for the Commemorative Air Force is our Board of Directors. These people donate their time, their money, and their effort to be a part of this organization. They're super appreciated. Thank you very much. Would the American Air Power Heritage Museum board members please stand? These folks are the board over the Henry B. Tippy National Aviation Education Center, You may hear me stumble a little bit when I say that because I keep wanting to say Naval Aviation Education Center, and my staff keeps getting mad at me. But I want to thank their efforts too. Thank you guys very, very much. These two groups and their predecessors were vital in bringing us to where we are today. I want to thank them for their vision, their leadership, their steadfast support in ensuring that the Commemorative Air Force moves boldly into the future. You know, there are so many people and organizations that we have to thank today. And I'm going to focus on the operational and logistics pieces just for a few minutes. To get here today, it took a lot of work and a lot of cooperation and a whole assortment of folks and organizations. Collaboration with the City of Dallas, including financial incentives, new airport infrastructure, all sorts of critical support as we worked our way through the construction process. While he's not here today, I do want to thank former Mayor Mike Rollins, who made the CAF integral in the Grow South initiative in Dallas. I would like to introduce a great friend and ally to myself and the CAF, Mr. Casey Thomas, Dallas City Council member from District 3. Please welcome Casey.
Congratulations, my friend. Good afternoon. Welcome to District 3. I consider District 3 to be the best place to live, play, work, and pray if you choose to. We are honored to have this great facility, and I had a chance to have a brief encounter with our man of honor here, Mr. Tippy, but I can only imagine, in order to have a great place like this, the type of service and honor that he gave to this country. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Mr. Tippy. I have never been one to stand between a man or a woman and their beer and wine, so I won't be long. I promise you. I promise you. It is an honor that you have chosen this location in Dallas, in Southern Dallas, more affectionately known as Oak Cliff, to call your home. We have students all over this metroplex, many who are in Dallas ISD, where I used to teach before I was a council member, who are looking forward to being taught, educated, and also trained in the opportunity for aviation. Aviation is a field with unlimited potential, and we have nothing but opportunities for so many young men who live in this community who happen to be majority African American and Latinx. So we're excited about this. I can't wait for this facility to be open this fall for the entire world to see. And so as a father of two boys, 111 and 114, I know they'll be spending a lot of time here. They look forward every year to the big event that we have here. And that demonstration, oh my goodness, it's so real, it was almost like you were actually back at Pearl Harbor. They've done a great job, been a great community partner, so I want to say thank you. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave a little early. I have a family obligation, but they know I'm here. I'm here not only with my words, but the city's been here with our dollars. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Thomas. Another very important team member that was instrumental in helping us navigate this project to completion has been Mr. Mark Dubner and his team at Dallas Aviation Department. Thank you. You know, we couldn't be here today without their counsel, their support, and just a couple of phone calls going, what do we do next? How do we do this? And they've always were there, always supporting us, and we really sincerely appreciate that help. Next, I would like the Commemorative Air Force National Executive Team to stand up for a second. While there has been a lot of cooperation, a lot of collaboration, maybe a little bit of complaining, a few tears, some heated discussions, nothing worth doing comes without passion and energy. Passion is the CAF secret sauce It's the secret potion. We put it in the water. So look out tonight if you drank any of that water in there. It drives our success. It's a great weapon. You are a passionate and incredible team. I'm humbled to be a part of you. Now, I'm going to go off script just for a second. See, they do that every time. There's one person, there's a whole team that put this thing together. This is a team effort. But there's one person here today. His name is on every brick. It's on every screw. It's on every tile. It's on everything. He made this building possible. He was the driving force day in and day out. David Oliver, this is your building. Please stay standing as the rest of the CAF national team joins you. So the rest of our national CAF team, I'd like you to join them. I'd like you to recognize this entire group with a big round of applause. In naval aviation, if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a retired Navy pilot. There's an old saying, motivation is the key to success. Attention to detail is the key to survival. This team has exemplified that mantra, and words cannot express my sincere appreciation for the effort, the motivation, the attention to detail. You met and exceeded an amazing challenge during an equally amazingly historically difficult time. You, as am I, should be so proud because each and every one of you helped to create this. And every day, for the rest of your life, going up and down this highway, you could say, I built that. And it's true. So why are we here today? It's a sneak peek. It's a ribbon cutting. We wanted to welcome you to the CAF's newest facility and the newest endeavor. We're known for endeavor. That's a great word, isn't it? Keep in mind, it's like a new house. A lot of things to do to make it home. But the heart is here. It's a lot of good ideas. We call it the CAF Good Idea Fairy. Some may be great. Some maybe not so good. Some may cost just too much money. So bombard the staff on how to make it better. It's all okay. It's your house. It's kind of like a housewarming, not the grand holiday party that you plan for Christmas or Thanksgiving after you've been in the house for a while. So our challenge now is to make it perfect. Today, we're opening the doors for an insider's view of our new 47,000 square foot building. There is much to be done. Much has been accomplished to get us here today. Inside, you're going to see hopes and dreams. Some things done, some things not. Like I said, it's a moving in party. Close family, members, supporters, you. That crazy aunt that drove in the mud and got mud all over your brand new carport and hit the pole on the way out. That's all of you. This is your home. This is your house. A lot of things in order to get it finished, but it's all coming to fruition. You're going to see a lot of smiles, but you see, I got a lot of them tricked. They're smiling because they think they're done. They think it's over. The hardest part is yet to come. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be a lot of great days and moments in this building. Later this year, we'll be hosting a grand opening. There'll be more on that later. And we're really hoping that all of you, as well as everybody joining us virtually, can attend that event as well. But we're not waiting until this year. We're not resting on our laurels. We're doing the education piece right now. We're going to transition from David's house to Nancy's empire. And you're going to see that things are already kicking into gear. The J3 Cub project is well underway. You'll learn more about that today. This summer, the aerospace camp. We'll have hundreds of kids in here. We'll probably have this other little event where we have 1,000 kindergartners running around. That's pretty awesome. It changes lives. We're going to have the Homefront Leadership Simulation Program going on. We're going to have vocational technology programs. We're going to have community support programs. This is going to be a cultivation point for educational programs for units across the United States and into Europe. So as you can tell, we've come a long way, and we've got a bright future ahead of us. I want to thank all of you because you have helped make this possible. Thank you very much.
One moment. Yes, sir, he did. Thank you, Mr. Hank. I am honored today to introduce Doug Rosendahl, Chief of Staff of the General Staff, the CAF's Board of Directors. Mr. Rosendahl has been Chief of Staff for the last 3 years, and his position of education has been illustrated by his involvement with the Red Tail Squadron, one of CAF's many units. Colonel Rosendahl, would you like to say a few words for us?
Asking me to talk would be a rhetorical question. But thank you, Kara. I tell you, one of the things that's warmed my heart a lot is in my membership in this organization is over the last 2 years watching these kids in the light blue shirts work on that Cub. You know, that's why we're here, and it's incredibly rewarding to watch that happen. This building's in Dallas, but it's going to have a nationwide impact. There are those that say, well, we've been a flying organization all of our career, and now we're becoming a schoolhouse. We've always been and always will be a flying organization. We're the largest flying museum in the world with about 170 airplanes. But it's not about the airplanes. Those who have been around for a long time have heard me say many times, it's not about the airplanes. The airplanes are a tool we use to tell a story. And this is where we prototype those stories. Those who have been around a while have heard me say a lot of times, we will achieve our full potential when we provide our members with an opportunity to serve. And the programs that we develop here that can be carried back to local communities in our wings and squadrons will provide our members that opportunity to serve. And that's what will make us really great. I am incredibly proud of this facility and the people that made it happen. The boards that were introduced earlier, I've been around here for a long time and I've watched those people, and Hank wasn't kidding when he said it's been a bit of a bumpy road from time to time, but the clear focus on the goal is what kept us true to our mission, and that's a direct result of the leadership of those boards. The headquarters team has done incredible. The amount of work that I've watched and has been accomplished here in the last several months is just off the chart. Nearly 800 of our members donated almost $2 million to build this facility. That demonstrates the commitment that our members have to what we're doing here. And several units made significant contributions out of their own treasuries as well to help see this dream come true. And most importantly, those of you who are here and those who are not here in the philanthropic community that helped us close the deal, including the city of Dallas, we say an incredible thank you. Without your support, we never could have done it. 6 or 7 years ago, we sat down in the terminal building here at Dallas Executive, and we drew out what our guiding principles were going to be for this project. And I'm telling you, you're looking at them. But one of those guiding principles was that we would have it paid for when we opened. Well, we're not opened in it today. That's going to happen next fall, this fall, our grand opening. But we are awfully, awfully close. And Rosalind would never let me sit down without making it clear. We're still raising that last little bit of money to make that happen. Again, I'm incredibly honored to have been a small part in this project, and really, really proud that we've been able to accomplish this here. I was in Midland when we made the decision to come here, and a lot of people said, well, it'll never happen. Well, guess what? It's happened. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, donors. Thank you, members. I couldn't be happier.
Thank you, Colonel Rosendahl. Next, it is my honor to introduce Niels Agather. Colonel Agather has been a member for the CAF for over 40 years, and he is the board chair for the CAF Museum Board, which is over the Henry B. Tippy National Aviation Education Center. He is also the chair for the fundraising campaign. Colonel Agather, would you care to share a few words with us?
Thank you. Thank you, Kira, for that very generous introduction. First, I want to recognize Gerald Oliver. Gerald, he was the catalyst for our move to Dallas. The successful move, the successful capital campaign, and our new headquarters and education started with Gerald essentially asking, why wait? Why not move now? So thank you, Gerald, for that effort. I've been cussing you quietly for the last 6 years, but today that's over, okay? So we had 23 communities reply to our RFP, expressing an interest in the CAF, and none, however, was more interested, no community was more interested than Dallas. Mayor Mike Rawlings was personally involved every step of the way and continues to be available to me and others as we need it. We've had great help from Mr. Dubner, as has been mentioned earlier today. I mean, the support from Dallas has been nothing but solid and strong all the way. My father would be very proud of this facility. Not because his name is on it, but first because he strongly believed in education. He beat it into me every day. He knew that his success in life was because of the education that he received, and he wanted others to have the same education opportunity that he had had. I'm sure that Henry can appreciate that because he talks a great deal about how his involvement in World War II and subsequent education helped him in his success. The second thing that would make my father proud is because it's a permanent now home for Fifi. And of course, other CAF aircraft, though, they matter just a little less. The B-29 squadron has been like a band of gypsies for a decade, moving from home to home. And so it's a pride and comfort for Fifi to be able to call this place home. And for me too, finally, it's been a relief. I've been worried about that. And though I really didn't need to worry too much with the leadership of Hank Coates and David Oliver and Rosalind, and our extremely able development team, and I want to make sure that I mention their names. So it's Donna Chandler, Ron Horick, Tracy Wright, Ashley Miller, Dave Swint, Tony Vellucci, and Courtney Calicut. They've done a tremendous job, and as has been pointed out, we've nearly completed the campaign. On site today are several of the founding donors, individuals or foundations who have contributed $25,000 or more, specifically to make this facility a reality. And for the benefit of the virtual audience that is out there watching, I'm going to provide the names of these founding donors, not all of which are here with us today. So the Henry B. Tippy Foundation, the Ray Foundation, the City of Dallas, the B-29, B-24 Squadron, Fred and Barbara Telling, the Doherty Foundation, the Hillcrest Foundation, John T. Hewitt Foundation, Hoblitz-L Foundation, Ray and Bonnie Kinney, Ralph B. Rogers Foundation, the Meadows Foundation, Catherine C. Carmody Charitable Trust, Doug Rosendahl, Frost Bank, the Red Tail Sponsor Group, Butch and Diane Stevens, Southwest Airlines, Alice Walton, Rosalind Beck, some anonymous donors, and me. So I would love it if you would recognize those founding donors and give them a round of applause now. And if everybody would please stand, the founding donors, thank you. So each of you has made a gift makes a gift that the future foundation can know that the CAF has been a good steward of your investment and the lives of the youth you see here today in the back. Thank you. We would not be here without your support. And as been pointed out, I'd be remiss if I wasn't, as a capital campaign chair, if I didn't point out that we haven't quite met the campaign. And if you want to donate $25,000 or more between now and the end of the year, you too can be a founding donor and be recognized on the wall. We're up to, so we've been notified of a new matching gift incentive by the Ray Foundation, and every dollar we receive by the end of 2021, the end of this year, will be matched dollar for dollar up to $500,000. With that, I want to introduce Henry. It's my privilege to introduce an individual for whom this facility is named. Henry Tippy, born in Iowa. I want to make sure we point that out. We have a strong Iowa contingent here. Henry reported for duty during World War II on June 5, 1944, the day before D-Day. He was later deployed to the Pacific and stationed on Guam as part of the 20th Air Force's headquarters. He is a longtime CAF member and supporter, becoming a Gold Life member of the CAF in 1977. He was a founding member of the CAF's American Air Power Heritage Foundation, and he is also a member of the great CAF B-29, B-24 Squadron. Henry, we hope you are proud to be associated with the CAF, as we are to have you, to have this new facility bear your name. Thank you for all your support. So now it's my honor to introduce Henry B. Tippy. Would you say a few words, Henry?
Well, thank you very much for those overly generous remarks. You know, the good Lord is looking down on us today. It's a beautiful day out here. And I can't think of a finer day than to be here and see this all finally come to fruition. As Neil just noted, my association with the CAF started over 40 years ago, in fact, about 44 years ago. And the CAF today versus what I seen back in '77 in the Rio Grande Valley is changed immeasurably. Like a lot of our organizations, you either grow and go forward or you stagnate and you're forgotten about, you disappear. So it's, it moved from the start, I think, by crop dusters at the Harlingen, and then it got out to Midland and came in here a few years ago. I had the opportunity to see several of the shows in the Rio Grande Valley when it was there, as well as I think about half of them out at Midland. And so here we are at this beautiful, beautiful facility here. Now, I should tell you that I'm very fond of the Air Force. And so why is that? Well, the Air Force got me off of the farm. And as some of you know, I come from a rural area in Iowa, and that's where I grew up. My parents, their education was limited to 8th grade country school, and nobody prior to me ever went to high school and graduated. My dad started high school and got kicked out because he got in a fight with the principal. So that ended his education while he's in 9th grade and just a few weeks in. But in those days, it was felt that if you had 8th grade education, you had enough and you didn't need to have any further education. My mother, in the 1930s, and this would be towards the end of the 30s, the 1930s is a very difficult time for everybody. About 25% unemployment, and in the farm country, if you had any production, it didn't bring much money. So it was a survival mode. We had a small dairy, but I wouldn't say we made any money. We just survived. And my mom used to tell me time after time, she'd say, Henry, this life is no good. You need to get off the farm. Well, how do you get off the farm if you don't know anybody that's off the farm and no family members off the farm, and that's all you know? Well, World War II showed up. And I was a sophomore in high school when that took place. So what happened is I enlisted in the Army Air Force, and I should say this, that I did consider going to the Navy. I just thought I'd throw that in, but it is a fact. And
Tossed it out because it's a bad idea.
well, the Navy and I didn't agree too good. So, in any event, the Army Air Force felt different. They had traveling cadet boards. They came to all the high schools in those days. And if you're 17 years old, during your senior year, they were interested in you, and so they came to our high school, and I took the test along with 10 others, and we all passed the test. It didn't take too much to pass the test at that time, and so two of us then went ahead and took our physicals and so forth, and even though I'm in high school, I was sworn in, but I finished high school. And as noted earlier, my first day in the military was the day prior to D-Day. Now, the reason I just kind of bring that up is I became very strong in education because there wasn't any education background in my family, zero, there wasn't any. So the Air Force got me the GI Bill, and the GI Bill made it possible for me to go to college. And one of the reasons I went to college is I was with a group of young people in our operation. When I went in the service as a young air cadet, 17 years old, there's like 205 or 206 of us in our group. And I found out there's another world out here. A lot of these came from different backgrounds, some of them the same as mine and some of them not. Some of them came from professional parents' backgrounds and so forth. But I got exposed to another way of life. So, as I say, the Army Air Force got me the GI Bill. The GI Bill got me an education at the University of Iowa. And then a lot of things happened over the generations since that time. So I have a very strong feeling about the Air Force, particularly the Army Air Force of that era. Well, as time marched on and I've gotten into later years, you get into education. Education is a tremendous foundation. That's something that nobody can take away from you. You can be in business, lose your business, and lose a lot of things. But education is something that you don't lose. Now, what you do with an education, of course, depends upon you and your effort and going forward. So I'm very strong with education in my feeling about education. And over the years, Patricia and I have been able to do a lot of things in the education field, not only at Iowa, but her college and the initial college I was stationed at in the Air Force was Co-College for several months, and Kirkwood Community College in the Midwest. The CAF. Well, the CAF, I don't believe, I don't know this, but I don't think when they were down at Harlingen that they were talking too much about an education operation like this. And so it's true that I've been a long-time member, but I've been on the sidelines and doing other things. But when this began to develop, was a different, I don't want to say different, but an additional facet for the CAF that kind of tweaked my interest. And so Patricia and I stopped by here one time several years ago when we were up here visiting one of our family. And he'd only been in here, I think, at that time, maybe, I don't know. I don't think he'd been here over a year, maybe. Anyway, at that point, that's when we find out about the education idea. And we certainly did not make any commitment, but I will tell you that I liked what I heard. And that gets back to my thought process about education and what it can do for people. This education operation here, it ties the past with today and the future. And when I look out here, like right now, I look over there and here are several young people. The future, of course, will be what you make of it. And if you want to put out the effort, why, you'll get the success. You don't want to put out the effort, you won't get it. But this facility makes it possible to build a foundation, and that's what education is. Education is a foundation to build on and move forward. And so subsequent conversations became involved, and we finally decided let's go forward with this. And Rosalind was involved in the first meeting along with Steve Brown, and I had not met Niels at that point, or anybody else. And so when you got into the discussion, there's a lot of discussion, but not anything happening. And so we came up with a concept of trying to make some things happen. And I think that Niels, when I think of Niels with his, and I'd say it was a dream to start with, probably out in the Midland area, but to bring this forward and now to look around here, even a year ago, it's hard for me to envision what it is today, because a year ago when I was here, we put a spade in the ground, and that's all it was. It was dirt out here with a spade. And you don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, yeah, you see all this stuff on a piece of paper, but things on a piece of paper and the reality a lot of times is two different things. And so we were able to help get it launched. And when I look around and I see a lot of you here today that are sponsors and donors, a lot, of course, are not here, probably will be here in the grand opening. I think, again, I come back to this foundation that is being set up here for the younger people to build a foundation on, to move forward with their life. And it's all the effort that's been put forward here that's been already mentioned, but I will mention it again. The tremendous effort that's been put forth by a lot of people here to make this happen. You can have the money, but if you got no leadership to do anything with it or do it the right way, it fails. And that's not the case here. And the city, to the city, a very important factor in making all this happen. And a great debt is owed to the city. And of course the staff here, you know. I look around here and I just think in terms of all the people that are involved. It's a tremendous team. There's no reason that as you go forward, I think the best is yet to come. And this is only the beginning. I think about a year ago I mentioned about an acorn. Well, acorns, you know, you start off, they're pretty small. And then as time goes on, the acorn, you know, it becomes a minor tree or a twig, and then a tree, and it grows. It grows slowly, but it grows, and it becomes huge after a while. Well, just think of this as an acorn. This is the beginning. And I think that this acorn here is going to spread a lot of other acorns to grow on. So this is an extreme honor to just have a small role in helping move this entire project on down the road here, and be a part of it here. I can't. It's hard for me to express myself as to how I really feel about it. Number one, I'm amazed, and number two, it's a high honor to be a part of it. Number three, the people, the quality of the people that's involved is unbelievable, and of course the leadership that's all involved here with Hank Coates and Dave Oliver, Roseanne, and Neil, Doug, many others. I don't want to shortchange anybody, but I can't remember everybody's name.
I can't either, Henry.
And so you've all played a major role in it, and your director, the young lady, had a very interesting conversation and tour with this morning, explaining all the center in here. I'm impressed, and no doubt about that. So I think the best is yet to come, and this is only the beginning. I don't know how long I'll be here to see all this, but I'm working on it. And it's interesting. I just want to kind of say this also. In World War II, the population of the United States was about 100 million people. World War II, there's about 16 million men and women that served in the military out of that 100 million. Where I come from in the Midwest, I can't think of a single family that didn't have somebody in the military, whether it be a sister, a brother, a parent, a grandson, aunt, uncle. Every family had somebody, and that was very important. Today we have 330 million people, maybe. I don't know anybody in the military, and I think that's probably true for a lot of people today. So it's an entirely different atmosphere, which gets right back to the importance of this facility, of trying to tie the past to today and the future. And again, when I look out here and I see this wonderful young group, and I know there were some people earlier that I seen tour the facility today, I feel very good about where we're at, where we're going, and the entire Commemorative Air Force. It's just wonderful for Patricia and I to be here, along with Linda and Helen and their family. And so thank you very much, and congratulations to all the things that Neil, that you've had a lot to do with making happen. I don't think maybe it would happen as good without you, but I want to thank you personally again. Niels and I have had a lot of discussions here in the last year or so where it's going. He's done an outstanding job keeping me posted. Rosalind the same way, Dave Oliver, and I've rode on the B-29 many times. They have a seat on there that I get to ride in. Not that I know anything about it, but I had my first ride in the B-29 when I was in the 20th Air Force overseas as a young fella, and so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tippy, and thank you for those inspirational words. I personally want to thank you for the impact that you are having on our lives as students. and I know that I represent many students who will walk through those doors in the future.
Okay, time to go off script again, just a little bit. So Kara, don't wander off. No, you need to come back over here. So, you know, most of you probably know that it's a tradition that when somebody does a great job emceeing and ramrodding an event like this with some cantankerous guys like us, that you give them a little bit of a reward. So I've got something for Kira. So why don't you try this on? So this is Kira's first flight jacket. I will tell you, it's not new. This jacket's kind of like the CAF. It's not new. And it probably doesn't fit real good right now. A lot of times when people join the CAF, it doesn't fit just right. But in time, you'll grow a little bit. The jacket will shrink a little bit. It'll fit you, and it'll be a part of you, just like the CAF. So everybody, please give Kira a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Hanks, so much. Now it is officially time to cut the ribbon. Colonel Coates, Colonel Agather, Colonel Rosendahl, and Colonel Tippy, would you please move towards the ribbon? And Mrs. Tippy, would you please join them? While they are currently getting situated, after Colonel and Mrs. Tippy officially cut the ribbon, we invite everyone to join us inside for some refreshments and self-guided tours. As you wander around, several of my classmates will be stationed throughout the facility to tell you more about each of the rooms. They are there to answer questions and help you learn more about the hands-on experiences that will happen every day inside. A special treat inside is a piece of our World War II Nose Art collection. It is one of the 34 pieces deemed American treasures. When they were included in the Save America Treasures project, coordinated by the White House Millennium Council and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Today you will meet mutts. Inside, you will also see several aircraft from the CAF's fleet. For some of these aircraft, the CAF Air Base here at the Dallas Executive Airport is their permanent home when they are not touring the country. Other aircraft are representative of the CAF aircraft that are visiting today, that are stationed around the country who will be periodically visiting Dallas. The crews would love to provide ground tours and will tell you more about the aircraft that you will see today. Colonel and Mrs. Tippy, would you please cut the ribbon? Now will please everyone join us inside for self-guided tours and refreshments. Thank you.